and I wanted to hear right from the horse's mouth, because everyone's given their,
Yeah.
a lot of people are speaking on behalf of everybody. So
So we pushed through the amendment to the Marshall and DOC stuff. Scotty wasn't happy with some of the verbiage. He expressed his concerns as such on the docket, and then that changed into a contest. So obviously had to either pay the money or submit the signatures. Quentin sends me the signatures, and the first thing I notice is that there's a dead man's name on the signatures. Rico Barbosa's name is on there. That guy's been dead for like a month. And it was, and the date beside it said the 18th of February, which was that day's date.
the day he died?
No, the day they wanted to contest the legislation.
So
I was like, oh, hold on, how is this making sense? This guy's dead. And then I looked through it some more, and there was some people on there who I know hadn't been awake yet. So we called around to check, because all of the signatures had that day's date on it. So we called around to check, be like, did you guys sign this today? And some people were like, no. I don't even know what that's about. So we couldn't verify all the signatures were obtained properly. And then the time ran out in the contest. So the legislation went through. People think that the legislation gave the marshals... that's the case already. It's a case of, at first, when it was implemented, the DOC had the, I'm going to use the term that you guys hate, ultimate authority.
We don't hate that word. It's just, it wasn't appropriate for the DOJ.
Sure.
Yeah.
The DOC have ultimate authority in the prison.
Yeah.
But then we ran into an issue where the marshals were trying to investigate either some corruption or like a rights violation.
I'm the ultimate authority.
But the DOC were pulling the, well, we're the ultimate authority here.
As a consequence of reading.
Which I'm sure you can see is not a great way to operate things if you can just tell people to go away if they're looking into your corruption.
Wait, what? Wait, say, okay, run that back.
So originally when the new constitution came in, the DOC had ultimate authority in the prison.
Right.
Then, I don't know what the situation was, this was before my time. This is what Weiss has told me. There was a situation where the marshals were looking to investigate either corruption or rights violation or something that happened in the prison from the DOC. But because the DOC had ultimate authority at the time, they just pulled rank and told the marshals to leave. And that's when it was changed to have the marshals have the option, well, ultimate authority, but
that
only
is
use it in
backwards. But I wonder why it was done as a consequence of that, because the marshals, while they may have ultimate authority, there's state authority that the marshals could push. But anyways, it is what it is. Oh my god.
So
give me
that's why the marshals were given,
oh my god,
the highest rank in the
way
prison.
That's why.
And it's also for cases where like
what
people are trying to break into the prison and take it over or break someone out, because the DOC don't have the training that law enforcement do. So they are there as a sort of release valve when shit gets serious, but the day-to-day stuff was always left to the DOC.
Are they law enforcement or are they not law enforcement? Because I keep hearing it go one way and then the next. I think that clarity would be good, because let's be honest, these guys are not law enforcement. They're not trained for it. I understand they can be deputized, but it's a very scary notion to bring, because it then means that everything that LSPD, BCSO, and marshals have to abide by, they have to, and these guys are definitely not trained in that.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll say the last time they were deputized to help with the Matthew Colby apprehension, they weren't given the go-ahead to do it until they had been given basic training on some stuff that they were only really used for bodies to cover the island to be lookouts in that situation.
Understood.
Yeah, so the new legislation went through, and Scotty brought up these concerns that he wanted to contest. That was unsuccessful. But we spoke to him that night, myself and Okia, and said we will work on the amendments and the concerns that you brought up. We will start working it tomorrow. Tomorrow being yesterday at that point. And then there was a situation where someone had escaped from prison with a guard, and the DOC didn't notice, but the marshals did, and they asked for help from the BCSO because it was up in Blaine County, and then they, got the prisoner and the DOC guard. It's not like the DOC guard was like in on it. He'd been held up and forced to take this guy out of the prison.
Is that what just happened?
Last night, yeah.
Okay.
So he'd been held up, forced to take someone out. The DOC didn't notice, but the marshals and the BCSO did, so they went and got the prisoner and the DOC and brought them back. And then the DOC were being maliciously compliant. And at some points just not compliant. Like, they were told to unshackle someone like 5 times and it didn't happen. Oh, and also before that, because in the legislation it was said that if the lifers have an issue, they take it to the marshals. If they have an issue with the DOC, they take it to the marshals. So the DOC got loads of notebooks, wrote down all the marshals' phone numbers and gave them to the lifers and gave them phones.
Gave them phones?
Either gave them phones or knew they had phones and didn't confiscate them.
Are they legally allowed to confiscate?
Yes.
Okay. That was like a big thing. Like, transparently, Princess came to us and told us a bunch of things. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really try to pay attention because it's hearsay, right?
Yep. So one of the limitations that the lifers have is privacy. Inmates' privacy is restricted to ensure security. Searches, monitoring, and other measures are authorized. Okay,
understood.
Does it outright outlaw the possession though, Murray?
No, that's a DOC SOP thing.
Okay.
It's up to them to determine what contraband is, because
Gotcha.
like, I know that like any money over $500 is contraband in their eyes, but that's not anything we've told them. That's just what Scotty came up with,
Right.
or Bailey, and he inherited it. I don't know.
So not necessarily non-compliance, but definitely malicious compliance.
Yeah, it's like we're doing everything you're asking, but we're doing it in a way that's petty.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, so the marshals were bringing back this prisoner, and the DOC were like, can you search this guy? And people were like, well, if that's what you want to do, it's up to you. It's your prison. When we've told them many times that it's the day-to-day is entirely up to the DOC. The marshals are there as a release valve when shit hits the fan, and you guys aren't trained to deal with that type of stuff. But it was, I guess, the straw that broke the camel's back. I can't say I agree with it. I can understand their perspective. I don't think it's the correct one, but yeah. So Suki quit, which meant Scotty quit, because apparently if she quit, then he would go. And then because Scotty quit, Seamus left, and then because all 3 of them left, Quentin quit. And then some other guy, Butch, who I don't really know too well, also decided to quit.
Van Dyer, yeah.
Yeah, what's this? Butch Van Dyer, yeah.
I think there was one more this morning.
Yeah, later on, like a couple hours later, Finlay Schmidt also resigned. And in the meantime, we've put Gary Kebben as the interim warden. We've asked the state if they have anyone else in mind, because one of Scotty's issues was that he's been the interim warden, but that isn't up to us. It's up to the state, and we've asked them multiple times and never got an answer either way. So we asked them last night, and they said they're discussing. So we'll see.
The state is?
Yeah. At least I think that's what they said.
Okay.
Yeah, we brought it up, and they said we will review. So.
Okay.
How many?
Like
don't mind me
Yeah.
asking. How many DOC officers are there left?
In terms of actual numbers hired, quite a few. In terms of people who actually work, unsure. Say at least 6.
Okay.
Gary, Flyrone, Ursula, Rainey. There's a few others on the list.
I feel like the man, this is a fucking shit show.
Like, we gave them so much leniency because of the good environment that they fostered up there.
Yeah. There's a mix of things. It sounds like y'all inherited some problems, from what it sounds like. But some of those problems, like, you know, how do I put this? Is it fair to say, if, first off, the marshals should have never been denied the ability to investigate DOC, regardless of whether it's in prison? As in my opinion, a misunderstanding of the Constitution and jurisdiction. Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that while they have ultimate authority in there, that ultimate authority is still scoped to matters inside there. That doesn't mean the marshals are not authorized to look into corruption that may exist within inside, right? So as long as there was a legal reason, they could have done so. It, to me, then sounds like, as a consequence of a misunderstanding from past, you know, justices, or whoever the fuck, that changing of the, you know, of who oversees who, it seems a lot of it stems back to that. And how do you resolve that when, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. Like, I was...
It's like a domino effect that took 6 months
Yeah, like,
to finally
like,
topple.
Scotty would say, you know, well, this was... Because Scotty was under the impression that that change and the change that we rolled back where the marshals were over at the PD in terms of, like, hire and fire and stuff, he was under the impression those happened at the same time, but they didn't. So he thought that we rolled back one bit and didn't roll back the other, but that's just not the case.
Yeah.
We gave Scotty so many like, the fact that they've lost 2 lifers in 30 days is... it's pretty bad. And then, well, what happened last night with not a lifer, but, you know, someone else getting out, thankfully caught right away. Because we don't want people to go up to prison and just, you know, sit in their cells and go to sleep and whatever. We want people to be... It may sound backwards, we want people to enjoy their time in prison as much as they can.
No, of course. It's not a place where you get tortured, right?
Right.
I will say, and this is me being transparent, is that I think we need a better way to contest rather than these notebooks. Because
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't like, obviously, if they just change the dates, that's an issue. But it's also an issue of, like, how do you do that in a way that... the notebook thing's always been weird to me, to be honest. Maybe what we do, because I can do it, you can do it, Sama can do... All 4 of us can actually put up, like, a voting thing. And maybe we just say that once someone does something, we put up a vote for a contest for 24 hours.
Like it, say, like, you could do that, I guess. You know,
but
like,
then we don't advertise it.
to...
We put it up on their behalf, and we don't advertise. No state, because then it's more, you know, they got to go and, like,
yeah, it's on there
get
to
people.
campaign.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, that could be, because the other option is, you know, people have to make 25, like, however many contracts, because that's like one of the only ways to guarantee a signature from someone at a specific time. But the voting one makes sense as well, because
Yeah, I think what they should do,
who the signatures are, just that there are signatures.
I think it should be, you put your name on it, and you're like, I'm contesting because of this, right? You have to put up your argument. And then once your argument up is that one of us, like, you know, whoever's responsible goes and puts it up, and it's a 24-hour you have to say yes to it, but no state announcements, right? It's up to that contester to go and get X amount of yeses, right?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. And that then, you know, results in, because, no, I don't know. You can't verify it. There's no way.
Yeah. I could write down 50 people's names and the state IDs just spelling at the NDT.
Or you go into like your fucking, God knows where you know what I mean? Motherfuckers are waking up just to do shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's
not even. That's assuming they wake up, right?
Yeah.
So.
Fucking people paid house payments and nothing else.
Oh, that's according, it seems like properties are not going to the mayors, finally. So.
That's good.
Okay.
I'm still hung up on the DOC pulling jurisdiction on an investigation over them.
Yeah, that was
I can't believe
time. I
that
don't know the specifics of that.
That's wild.
Yeah, that is.
You can't investigate me, go away.
That's
it's so bad.
But
it is bad.
But it's equally an issue with the past DOJ.
Yeah.
Because that didn't need a change in legislation.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I can't speak to the mindset of Angel at the time, unfortunately.
Oh, I can, but that probably wouldn't be a good thing.
Wouldn't be a healthy discussion.
All right. I appreciate your perspective. We're not gonna meddle in this. Obviously, we're interested in the conversation. I think our main interest is we can talk about it on Saturday. Is like seeing if we can visit a better system that makes more sense. And I think what we're workshopping right here is not a bad idea. I think.
Yeah.
Can I go and test a ballot right now and then delete it? Just with you as a witness here?
Yeah, I give you authority to do that, yeah.
All right. I want to call it test. Test. 20 to 20. All right. It's created. It says it's expired. Okay. That's because of the date. I'm going to change it to the 21st. To the 21st. Confirm. It should now be up. Single choice. Add option. Yeah. Oh, you can even do it so it's one option. Let's go to City Hall. Take a look. I think it should just have one option on it.
Yeah, I can see it on the state panel.
Perfect.
That's my truck.
We'll speak soon, Quantum.